Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another broadcast of In the Circle Ministry. I'm your host, Rico B. And this is our virtual YouTube ministry here, where we take things and put them up under the microscope. I'm saying some of my introduction because I actually created my own introduction too. So before I get going too fast, thank everyone for joining, those that are alive now and those that will be joined live later on. Thank you for joining all of those that are subscribers or soon to be subscribers, or the way we like to say here, who are leaders in their life, those that have taken charge or who are in charge of themselves and found themselves searching for information and ended up on this channel. Um, as we're seeing the topic for the day, we'll get into it later on. The open-minded, the doorway, the change. If I can, what I'm going to try to do now is uh, give me 1 second. Try to share my screen if I can. Give me 1 second. Still working with the technology and learning it. I'm going to open another tab and come back and try to share the tab because I wanted to share my introduction video that I created from scratch myself using my own software, but I don't know if I will be able to pull it up or not, but I'm trying. What's up, Sister Corinne, Above and Beyond? Says happy Wednesday. She does her shows Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Check her out. Her name is her name of her channel. You see in the comments, Above and Beyond with Corinne. I was kind of, well, I'm not saying I am real excited about wanting to get on here and show you these things here. Because the new people that's never subscribed to my channel be able to see it. I've been trying to figure out how to make it a trailer or to set it up before I actually come on and start my lives or any videos that I do. But it's I'm catching the dog pulling it up. Give me 1 more second. I'm gonna try it again. Um, Give me 1 second, guys. I don't know if it's still showing you me from the cameras, but okay. I'm gonna try this here and share my personal webpage, share our personal webpage here, and show you the introduction if it allows me to see it from this side. Yes, it let me share it. Give me 1 more second. Back over and catch it later on. Okay. Just going back and forth between the two pages. I'm still trying to figure this out. It seems pretty cool though. Let's see, can I come here and go to my video to show it to you? Even though they're it's unlisted, maybe. I can't find it, and that's kind of crazy. Even though I got it unlisted, I was hoping I could pull it up, but okay, don't sound like I'll be able to do it. If I can find it. Uh, no, I haven't had a chance to pull it up yet. Okay, whenever I get a chance, or you go to my channel, for those that are not subscribed already, you'll be able to see it, and hopefully I'll be able to get it loaded up where you can see it. But it's real cool. It was a thought that I had in my head that I actually was able to go through a couple of programs and processes and get it all worked out. I thought I had it set up where I could show you guys, but nevertheless, hope everybody's day been great. The week's been going good, and hope everything is working out for you the way that you plan. Um, Hope that everything is as come out the same, like I say, the same way that you plan, and if not, then that you have a plan of action to fix that recourse. But um, we've went through a lot of time already, so we'll get into the open-minded being the doorway to change. Um, if we think about it, um, just in the thought of being open-minded, from my perspective, is being able to actually view someone or view information in the light of the information that it was given, and without any personal perspective, prejudice, feelings, or emotions attached to it, and being able to receive whatever it is that it is and that to receive. Um, so, like, some people do it in their diet. I did it with my diet, trying new things. I had to be open to new things, trying it with my diet, not eating meat and being more so plant based and eating like that. It wasn't a health so far of a health issue that caused it, but just a mind issue that caused it. You know, so being open minded to try or to listen or to be involved with different things, we could go down different avenues or view it in different ways. But I'm trying to stay on the pathway of, not on the pathway, but on the on the focus of having being open to new things that are healthy. Not trying to go too far out in the imagination. But so you have an open mindset and you have a closed mindset. And the closed mindset for me, through my experiences, I would say through um, my upbringing, the things I was taught coming up as a child, the way that I was raised up, from religious to geographical location, being here in the South, and a certain way that my family believed, and the way that they talk from both my mom's side and my dad's side. So it was like, well, like I said, for down here, like it was not viewed as hard as racism for what it really is, but it was more so taught to, stay in your own race, stay into your own culture, or um, you know, it's all right to integrate into public, but when it comes to intermingling or uh, reproducing more life, then you should stay into your race and your culture, because that's where you are and that's where you're from. You should be proud of that. Which there's nothing wrong with that. That's not the racism part I'm talking about, but the boundary of having to stay there. So it's a certain way that you're raised. Like I say, for me and mine, it was not so much as preached or pushed heavy, but wasn't supposed to bring no white girl home or no other girl of no other race home, or things of that nature. And a lot of the other people of different races down this way will talk the same thing. And as I said before, it's more of a pride thing, or more of the way it was portrayed or put off to be. It's like um, not being ashamed of who you are and what you are, not so much of the seclusion of who you are and the dominance of who you are and what you are, maybe your race or whatever it may be, or your religion. But another place that I ran across it outside of that in society and dealing with different peoples, where people have the rights to think and to to be that way. Um, Speaking about being closed-minded, in certain areas, there's certain things you need to be closed-minded on. There's certain things you don't need to try or engage in if they're dangerous or harmful. Russian roulette or any other dangerous things. That can cause physical harm to yourself or someone else. Some of those things. Stay closed-minded about. But what we're talking about here is like more so of your personal self, how you deal with other people just as yourself or other humans, or dealing with humanity in itself, and dealing with every individual on a one-on-one basis, and not into a secluded race, color, creed, religion, or fashion or geographical location that will hinder you from um, actually seeing the individual or the person that you may meet that's from any one of those different geographical religion or different thought processes or whatever. And you've been closed minded to that. A lot of times you can't see them for who they are because you have a made up mind about them in a you already had pre thoughts about them, or you've already have a perspective about that nation, that individual, that culture, that geographical location, or you're on a simple level, that car, that vehicle. What I mean? You can have a closed minded about loving Chevys and not liking Fords because you just like Chevys, or your grandfather and your dad always had Chevys, and they felt this way about the Ford, so you felt that way about the Ford as well, and just always went with the Chevy, but never got to see the performance or the understanding of a Ford and knowing that they're a great vehicle as well. But all because of perspective or the closed mindedness, you have not been able to open your mind up to have different experiences. So another illustration I wanted to talk about was one that I was thinking about earlier. Was old George Jefferson. This show used to come on back in the 70s, 80s. The Jeffersons, and it was George Jefferson, and I think I can't think of his neighbor Thomas. I think his name was Thomas or Tom, who was married to the uh, the black lady, and Helen. I think that's her name, Helen. And they was somewhere. They ended up being somewhere. I think at a Klans rally or Klans meeting, and there was a bunch of insults and tension there just because George was there and the white guy. And so the guy that was over the Klan, outside of some of the other people underneath him, not just the regular members, but like in rank, and his son as well. And he was holding true to his closed mindedness about his views about blacks, Jews, and etc. etc. But during that episode and during their transaction and verbal communication, the guy, the racist guy, ended up having somewhat of a heart attack or get ready to die, and it was George, the black guy, the only one there that was able to help him and revive him and bring him back to life. In the beginning, right after he was brought back to life, the son was very excited. Even though he was feeling and promoting the same hatred or rhetoric that his pops was preaching and teaching at the time. But when his pops came around to being alive, he was kind of having a change of heart. And once the dad actually came through and yeah, it was Tom, and he was able to see that he was alive and that he had suffered a heart attack, and it was the black guy that saved him. And he looked the black guy did in the eye and told him, you should have let me stay dead. I'd rather been dead than basically to have a nigga to save me. From that closed mindedness, he would say it in his mind. Like I say, everyone has the right to their thoughts and opinion. I'm just using it for illustration for the way that I seen it. That he'd rather all enter into the afterlife um, than to stay and remain in the physical life, knowing that he was saved by a black guy. And so that type of closed mindedness, in a sense, is why I wanted to use that one to say, like, the way I was brought up. And this isn't toward any particular person inside of the religious organization or Christianity that I was raised up in, the Southern Baptist down here. We was taught just like everyone else. Everyone's taught a denomination. They're taught basically church rules and guidelines for them to that they all believe and agree to, and a set of rules that they go by. The church covenant is one we had in South Carolina. I don't know if you can look up online and find it or not, but the covenant of the church, and then certain other things, the decrees that you will hold on to, and being the part about come out from amongst them and being ye separate was taught through our stage of or in our circle of Christianity, that we stayed away from other denominations. We stayed away from other religious. We stayed away from other cultural thoughts, and they was all called mythology, and they was all called false idol, and they was all called pagan, and they was all deemed to be dirty and nasty, and something not to for us to even engage in or to try to question or indulge ourselves in it, and that would be us partaking in that same sinful nature. But that closed mindedness was something I never really allowed to stick with me, even though I grew up up under it. I was always open minded. I always wanted to know the when, what, and how. And I would ask things, that would be pertaining to God or pertaining to the scriptures or the Bible from what we were taught. Um, hard questions like the killing of all the people in the Old Testament and the way he did with the children of Israel and certain people for just disbelieving, and where was the compassion showed against all the other people that he said just kill everybody, women, children, cattle, destroy the land, even throw rocks on top of the lands, so as that land never produced again. Why would God do that if he had the power to fix and change things? Why would he harden Pharaoh's heart when he could have softened Pharaoh's heart? And things could have been changed. Why was it such a show of force to show dominance? But anyway, with that thoughts and those processes of us being taught, we was taught that you can't question God. God ways above our ways and our thoughts, and the things that he did made sense, and it was because God done it, and there was no sin in God when he killed. There was no sin in God when he repented, and he was able to change his mind, or do certain things. There was, you know, no consequences for him and his actions. But with that, it would have blocked me from having great friends and meeting a bunch of great people. That's one of the things I'm saying too about having a great mindset. And even though I don't practice so-called that faith or that religion no more, that doesn't take away from all the great individuals that are still in that organization who are just great individuals, and you're not gonna be able to change that. No one will be able to change them from being good people just as well as being good people who are atheists and some that don't even believe at all, that have no so-called religion. But I wouldn't have the opportunity to have Muslim friends and have uh, Korean and um, Korean and Chinese friends who study Buddha and do other things, and I mean other religions and other spiritualities. So who actually I was able to talk to and question, and it wasn't from the way it was always, or most times it's portrayed on here, whereas most times it's an altercation. As always, some religion has to be right. So their engagement with other religions or other spiritualities or other nationalities and their beliefs and their faith and their walks and their spirituality, it becomes more of a who's right instead of learning from one another. But if I'd have been closed minded, I wouldn't been able to be open minded and be to the point where I'm at now. And like I said, meet great people and have better insight outside of someone else's perspective who told me about Buddha and Buddha, those that practice Buddhism, and outside of the enlightenment and growing within themselves and being one with everything that has the breath of life in them, and being at harmony with that within themselves and with everyone else, then the closed mindedness of them people believe in being they're going to be reincarnated as insects, or they may be reincarnated as other animals, or they may be reincarnated, which isn't possible because that Bible doesn't talk about it, which the Bible does. It's another time and another subject, but Jesus said that John the Baptist was the reincarnation of the Elijah. But you don't have to prove your standing or your belief or your faith or your religion right by the merits of someone else's. Those are closed-minded things. Even though I use the Bible a lot because it's the one thing that I have studied over and over and grew up in. But I think it was Paul telling Thomas or Timothy, one of those, about getting into profane babbling where it doesn't profit anything. So a lot of people get into profane babbling about their religion, and it profits nothing. Anyway, it shows a more closed mindset. So with an open mindset, I was able to meet great people, learn more about that, learn more about Muslim, learn more about some of the Jamaicans, and not just in the learn more, not say practicing of the voodoo, but learn about the knowledge of it, and there's something else that they practice as well. But in different races and different religions and different nationalities and different people, being open-minded was able to help me to do those things. And for me, in my spirituality, the thing about it is not being so closed-minded to the doctrination that I was taught, of being open-minded to the spirit inside of me, to be the individual that I am, and to continue to be openly minded, and to know that there's not one place that we can go and pick up 100% truth. Even if in our spiritual walk and in our physical walk, or anything historically that anyone or any religion or spirituality, we have no physical evidence to say that outside of our own personal experiences in our thought process or in our beliefs in that thought process inside of that religion or spirituality that produce certain things that give us solidify certain things in that for us to help solidify our belief or to edify our belief or our walk. Um, you know, so I don't believe, just from my experience, that, like I say, you can go to one place and pick it all up, because it's spread out. The truth is everywhere. Everybody has a piece of truth in them, and to collectively get the truth that you need for this life is the only mission. So don't be closed-minded when it comes to your spirituality. Don't be so closed-minded to your traditions. Don't be so closed-minded to your ways, your patterns, and the things that you're accustomed to of way of thinking. Um, in order to be able not just to sympathize with someone, but to empathize with them or be empathetic with them, is to actually be able to place yourself in their shoes uh, full-heartedly, not placing yourself in their shoes with your restraints or your requirements or your conditions. You know, you have to put yourself in their situation. As they say, walk a mile in their shoes, and then, think from that place. And then if you're able to see it from outside of in their shoes and still view it, then this is where you get more experience and have more wisdom to come out of that experience. So, um, there's a doorway to change. If you're not going to be open minded, if I haven't been open minded, I wouldn't be able to change into the person I am, because I said before that change is the only way to growth. You have, and you cannot get growth unless you change. And so the same illustration I was using before in previous videos about running in a circle, you may be running in a circle, but if that isn't um, what you need to be doing, you can get it confused with having progress when you shouldn't be. Just because you're moving forward, you're not making progress. If I was, for say, if I was to leave South Carolina headed to Texas, then on the map, on the globe, I can draw a straight line from South Carolina to Texas, and can get there the quickest way from going from straight South Carolina to Texas. Okay, but if I was wanting to go to South Carolina to Texas and still get there in the quickest way, it wouldn't be wise for me to go from A, South Carolina, then go to B, go to New York, and then from New York, go to Kentucky, and then from Kentucky, go to Texas. When I can go from from South Carolina to Texas. So me going from South Carolina to New York to Kentucky to Texas is running in a circle. It's to me that's like running in a circle. I'm not getting to the destination at as quick as available time. I'm making progress, but I'm delaying a lot of other things. I'm delaying my getting to where I need to, or I'm delaying my blessing. I'm delaying my growth. I'm delaying my higher vibration. I'm delaying uh, the longevity into the peace, love, and the happiness that I have acquired into my kingdom now. And so to get to those places and to do those things, we have to make sure that we stay open minded. I can be closed minded on traveling in a car because I love cars, and closed minded on fear of airplanes. And I can drive to Texas, and I had to do it to go get my daughter one time, and it takes over 16 to 20 some hours to get there, you know, and that's if you're trying to go one way. Or I can get in the airplane and get there in an hour. You know, I can be closed minded about getting to the same destination, but being closed minded about my approach, or being closed minded about how I travel to get to that destination. And I could, like I say, I can limit myself. And time is the most valuable thing that I have. Um, my my spirituality is my wealth, but time is the most valuable thing that I have because it was existing. So as I can exist, and in it, I have a limited amount of time to do the extraordinary. So, um, in order for me to reach my full potential, I must stay open minded so as I can get to point A to point B in the best route and the best way to be. So I have to set aside my closed mindedness of my fears, my prejudice, my dislikes, my never really done or engage myself in it and still holding a truth or an opinion about a subject or a matter or a thing is also something you have to lose in your closed mindedness. A lot of the things that we have that we hold true and that we hold for value, a lot of our traditions or our religious or our geographical or our upraising, things that were said and that we hear it growing up that we took from truth and never really examined them. So being open-minded is that if I give you something or tell you something to try out or go see and go search out for yourself, would you do it? If I told you to go check out Isaiah, and I think it's 17, and listen to the story or read about the story about the woman that's going to have this child who is going to be the Messiah, meaning God with us and not Jesus, and that's a different total story individual that was copied from here. But when you hear it here, you can separate the doctrination of only being able to hear this the first time. Well, I was able to hear it and see it different from the first time that I only heard about this was with Jesus and in the New Testament. I didn't see this in there for say as to really see what was in there because the indoctrination was only focusing in on the child that would be born, that would before he able to eat honey and do all these other things, before he could decide to do right or wrong, he know he'd be done chose the righteous way. You look that up too. It's Isaiah 17, I believe. Would you go search it out, or would you believe that everything that you've been taught or everything that you heard about the New Testament, Jesus, and all these other things is gospel truth, and you're going to take it for that, and you're not even going to examine this, and you're just going to continue to run it for truth? When you stay closed-minded, or when you be open-minded to go see it and then examine it and see if you can see what I see, and walk away with a firm decision. You know, so that's what a lot of the stuff is about with self mastery and going through those same channels or going through those same um, things I'm just talking about, taking a thought or examining or getting information and searching it out and finding it out. And then if you do find out the truth, you can separate it from your truth or make it your truth now. Your truth is something that can be changed. Your truth is something that you get until you run across the truth. And so we should be able to make our, as we say in our videos here, to make our eyes singular, not plural. The singular part would be the truth. That no matter if it's got a little truth, if it's a lie, the lie always got a little truth in it as well, because the lie is a distortion of the truth. Or if it's your truth, or if it's someone else's perspective, and these different things, you got to be able to find the truth in them. And so as we do those things, this is how I've been able to grow in myself. This is how I've been able to grow into my self mastery, and to see and view different things, and stand open minded and knowing today what is true may not be true tomorrow. Um, but I can tell you this: what's a lie will always be a lie. A lie will always be a lie. Um, but what I say about the truth changing is your perspective and your truth, and you'll see later on that sometimes your truth is just a lie. Same way I had to come to those conclusions and come to grips with a lot of those things, and to grab grips of the truth and run with that truth. Uh, so um, it's the doorway to change. So if you can remain open minded and to try things out, then you can have change. And change is always great. We should always uh, be able to change or evolve and to elevate more and more thought and consciousness and understanding. Well, this I didn't plan on the live having a set time or doing anything else. But if anybody else, while you're here, if you're in the comments and you're still here, if you have any thoughts of opinion, you're more than welcome to share it. Um, what are your thoughts and your opinions on being closed-minded and being open-minded? And it's the doorway to change, or just something that 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 actually doesn't make sense, or is it something that it actually does make sense? Just either or, whatever it may be. What's your thoughts and your opinions on it? And even if you don't put it in here, when you take it and you get to yourself, do those same things and ask yourself those questions. Ask yourself, are you closed-minded in certain areas? Ask yourself and examine those areas. And those areas that you do come up with that actually you say that you are closed-minded into it, examine the keys and wonder why, or figure out why is it closed. Is it closed because it needs to be? It is dangerous. It is harmful to thyself and anyone else, or to someone else. It can cause physical, emotional, or some type of harm to you or anyone else, and it deserves to be locked. Or is it off of the key of your own perspective, pride, and your own belief? And change the keys, change it, open the door, open your mind, and allow what's already in there to be explored. So be able to go in here and unlock your mind and go within, and then let what's already in there be explored. Closed mind, uh, it's another saying, not closed mind, but a closed mouth can't get fed. So a closed mind can't get read. Knowledge is power when it's applied, and just like a library or a book or a tablet or information, that knowledge, if it's not absorbed and applied, then you can never ever get any results that it may have. So if you don't open your mind into the infinite amount of knowledge and information and wealth and prosperity and all those great things, if you don't open it up, you won't be able to go into it. If you don't enter the matrix, you can't never become as powerful as Neo. You know. So unlock the door and see what the world discovers. Unlock the door and see what and who you are. This is the way to go within and to find out who thyself are. As we talked about, as I said before, difference about knowing that you are a God. Find out what type of God you are. Find out who you are. And that's something only you can do, and you're going to have to search within yourself to find those answers. You're not going to be able to get those answers outwardly. You're not going to be able to get them from no one else. Um, So you're gonna have to be able to go within thyself and find those things and explore the greatness inside of you, the infinite amount of God that you are, the love, peace, uh, happiness, joy, the 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 strength of all those that love you. Be that so as they can be those things to others as well. Be the roadmap for them. So yeah, um, I want to thank everyone for coming on. Those that been here from the beginning of the live stream, and those that'll be joining later. Um, and to those of you that will subscribe later, and those of you that will come in and watch later. Um, Thank you for coming out. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for spending your time and hearing what I had to say. Um, I know that it may be something that'll help you out on down the road. If it's something that you can discard or something you can keep, if you came across the information, you're going to have to make that decision regardless. So I hope and well, I know that it's going to do those things, but I hope that you enjoy the show as much as I've enjoyed the show and as much as I've enjoyed doing the show. Um, if you come on, if you've been on, outside of those who have commented, and that's something I said that you do like or dislike, leave in the comments down here. The number one. Um, Keep your eyes open and keep your notifications on for more videos and more things that we'll be doing here. And hopefully by next time, um, those that are already subscribers, you'll be able to see uh, my new introduction video that I made. Um, and if you're watching this and you have any information on how to help me, you can leave it in the comments or some type of way that we can contact each other through the comments. And I'm open to any information that will help me in this. I'm self-learned, I'm self-taught, uh, life experience educated, but I'm open to everything. So I want to thank you once again. Um, I want to wish you peace, love, and prosperity, and extreme health and wealth to everyone. Come back out and check us out another time. Um, and look forward to doing it again next Wednesday at 7 o'clock in the Circle Ministries, our virtual YouTube ministry here. Don't know the subject or the topic yet, but we will be back here at 7 o'clock next Wednesday. And in between then, there may be any more videos, shorts, or things of that nature, or maybe another live come then. But until then, you guys have the great rest of your day, and may the rest of your week be just as lovely as you would want it to be, times two. Love you, and you guys have a great